Hello everyone, RegiTime here, and today we're going to be using the Poker Hand Replayer's Poker Hand Replayer tool to review some hands that I played on a site that shall not be named for fear of them closing my account. If you refer to my last video, you'll see that Sky have prevented me from making content using their intellectual property, which means I can't show their tables, and what have you. There's nothing they can do to stop me using this. I've chosen not to name players on this occasion on the tables. I may well change that in future. I'm currently waiting for Sky to get back to me and tell me exactly what I can and can't do with showing videos that show their software. I'm not sure if it's something that's going to be like an ongoing thing, or if they're just sorting the toys out the pram. I don't know. I've asked them what's permissible, what isn't, and they haven't replied to my email despite them having now had 60 hours to do so. I have no idea what's going on. I think they've dropped the ball. Lots of people have commented in the thread saying they think they've dropped the ball, etc. But it is what it is. We can do it this way. It's slightly more of a ball ache for me, and this software is glitchy, so please do apologise if the video doesn't always flow, because I might sometimes have to like refresh the page, and because this software, when you click play and pause and play and pause, sometimes it just bugs out. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's the best we can do at the moment, I'm afraid. So please don't let that prevent you from clicking the like and the share button, etc. Please do leave any comments on any of the hands, and yeah, let's get into them, I guess. In the first hand here we have 8-9 of spades in the big blind. Under the gun player raises. We defend the 8-9 and we flop a enormous draw. We check to our opponent, which we should be checking pretty much everything here versus under the gun. They're going to have a pretty strong range, you would think, and they're going to bet a lot, or they're going to bet with the high frequency. He elects to bet whatever that was, half pot. We could just call here, depending on what we know about our opponent, how aggressive they are. If they're really passive and tight, then maybe just check calling. We're better. If we think they're in any way like loose or c-betting even slightly wide, then I think check raise is a far better option. I hope that's what we do here. Sizing wise, I'd like to see us get up there to at least 260, maybe a little bit more. Let's see what happens. 280, I like that. Our opponent calls. We turn the flush, so we have an SPR of around 3 here, just under 2.8 or whatever, I'm not entirely sure. I think we need to bet again here pretty big. We've got a flush, which is really nice. If he has a spade in his hand like this, you know, if he has like, I don't know, like king queen with the queen of spades or something like that, then you know, he's going to call for all kinds of bets. And if he doesn't have a spade in his hand and he doesn't have top pair, then he's not going to call. Instead he's called a check raise here with, I don't know, pocket tens, no spade. He's probably going to fold no matter what size we bet, unless we really size down to like £2 or something. But we want to be trying to play for stacks here at this point, so I'd like to see us get our bet size way up in the fours. A minimum of £4 would be nice. 480. I'm pleased with that. And then the board pairs. Oh, it's gone on too quick. The board pairs a river, and I was about to say, do we bet here? Do we bet call? Do we bet fold? Betting's obviously the right play. And the board's paired now, so it's going to be harder to get value. I think if he does have like Queen X now, it's going to be pretty hard to get paid. I think we need to bet big here, because if he's got over pairs, aces, kings, maybe ace queen, king queen, maybe are going to pay off a reasonable bet depending on how fishy the opponent is. But if we get raised, then we just don't beat anything, and we just need to fold. He doesn't get to the river with just like a lone 6. If he has a 6, it's like likely to be like 7-6, although I don't think 7-6 calls a turn. So I think his range here is going to be like Queen X, flushes, maybe full houses, but again, not entirely sure what full houses he can have. I mean, just pocket sevens, not just get it in on the flop, wouldn't make sense. Well, if he's slow playing, maybe on the flop, then he gets scared on the turn. I don't know, but I think ultimately, if we get raised here, we we don't really beat anything, but I think we can certainly get caught by worse hands here. Not tons of worse hands, but some worse hands. Maybe in hindsight we could have bet a little bit smaller, especially if we're going to bet fold. Maybe we could have bet like 1/3 pot, maybe 40% pot. I don't know, but if we get raised we need to fold, I think. Our opponent did jam, and sadly we did fold, which is kind of annoying, I guess, but we can't just go punting another tenner off there, just hoping that we win the hand. I mean, what do we really beat? What bluffs does he have? I mean, unless he's turning a hand into a bluff, which seems unlikely to me. If he's got like pocket aces, pocket kings, queen X, don't think they turn it into a bluff very often, given we've gone check raise bet. I mean, he can't really expect us to be folding here. If you're in his shoes, what does your raising range look like? You know, you can't expect to get any folds really. You know, when your opponent's going check raise flop, bet turn, and when a flush card gets there, and bet river when the board pairs, what are you really going to try and make them fold there as a bluff? You're either going to be calling with some, like, maybe he's got some better flushes that even just call, you know, like 10 jack spades, maybe that even just calls, I don't know. But I just presume he had a full house here. He either slow played a hand like pocket queens, pocket sevens, maybe his river quads. Who knows? But it felt to me like a 9 high flush wasn't good, and yeah, we got away from our hand. Next hand here, ace jack suited at a 30 NL table. No bugs on the first hand too, so that's good. At a 20 NL table, sorry, for some reason I thought it was 30 NL. No bugs on the first hand. If this continues to be the case, then we'll all be happy. So under the gun limps, we isolate to £1, which is completely standard, and every man and his dog calls, and we flop second pair. In a multi-way pot, this hand significantly reduces in value. If this was heads up in or out of position, I suspect, especially against seat 10, I would just be making a bet here and just crying if we get raised and folding, I guess. And in a multi-way pot, ace jack shouldn't really be, I mean, yeah, it can still be the best hand, but it's going to be hard to get value, especially hard to get multiple streets of value. So I think we should just, I mean, if this dude bets, we should call. If it checks to us, I think we should check and see what seat 10 does. And if seat 10 bets, these two guys get out of the way, I guess we just bluff catch against seat 8. But if seat 8 bets and either of these guys call, I think maybe we should get away from our hand. But let's see what happens. Check, 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 check. And a really small bet of £1.20. We have no choice but call here, which we do. Turn is a king, which is, again, it's not great for our range. He shouldn't have too many kings in his hand. Maybe king 10, king queen, king jack might be the only ones. Ace king, you would imagine 3 bets pre-flop. So the king, whereas it's not a great card, it shouldn't change too much too often. 10-9 gets there as well, so that's king 10, 10-9, and king jack. The hands we were ahead of that have improved. There's some, but not a great deal. I think obviously we should check again and see what happens. Our opponent then bets 80p. This is going a little bit too quick, unfortunately. Obviously it's just a really easy call for the 80p. There's nothing much you can do. Raising doesn't make sense. Folding makes even less sense. So I think calling was the right play. We on to the river. 6 of spades. Again, we should just check. And opponent goes all in. So we've got to look back at what's happened in the hand so far. Does he play a queen this way? If he has a hand like queen 10, does he bet small turn, jam river? Doesn't make too much sense. I mean, there's lots of ways we can be beat here. Ace 10, 10-9, king jack, king queen. And not that many draws he can have. But when you look at how his sizing's been, like small, small, big, like 120, then down to 80. Now all of a sudden he wants to go all in. I don't know. I think against a good player here, who's just gone bet normal size, bet normal size, bet normal size, I think it's an easy fold. But against someone who's clearly officially started the hand with doing like £8 or something, £9 maybe, can't remember what it was. But for someone who's just gone like bet small, now wants to go all in, I get curious in these spots. Maybe you shouldn't, but I get curious, and I did call. even though there's not that many hands a beat. It's just the line doesn't make sense. If, as Judge Judy says, if it doesn't make sense, then it's a lie. And that's not always true in poker, but quite often when things don't make sense, there's something funky going on. Either something like super nutty, like maybe he's just flopped us with like dead with 3 queens or 3 threes, or he's just doing something weird. So I think I looked him up. We did. And he just mucked his hand. Why haven't I put his cards in? I don't remember what he had there. Do not even remember what he had there. So apologies for not being able to show the result, but we called and we won. So I guess that's the most important. Try to think back. No, sorry, can't think. On to the next hand. We have an Ace, King of Diamonds, and really pleased with the way Poker Hand Replays is handling this. Hasn't bugged out once yet, which is tremendous. We open 3x under the gun at 20 and L with Ace, King of Diamonds. And we get 2 callers, and we flop pretty damn good. 2 overs, not flush draw, backdoor straight draw. I'm not one for c-betting these boards, you know, with a high frequency, these like super connected, dripping, sopping wet boards. I think Ace King is where we can make an exception. If I had a hand like pocket aces, for example, here, I would certainly be checking. If I had aces, kings, maybe not jacks because we have the straight draw too. Aces, kings, queens, checking for sure. And my range for betting here is it's going to be pretty strong. And with like bluffs like this, like I don't know, flush draws, 2 overs, sets, straights, 2 pairs, and not very many bluffs in there. We're going to have a pretty high like ratio of value bets versus bluffs here, but we're going to be in a fucking ton of checking with some good hands too. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to bet here, and I think I should probably size it pretty big too. I'm going to bet, we probably should bet in a spot where we're not betting very often. We should just size up a little bit. I think I'd like to see me bet upwards of 140. 160, which is fine. Get the call and the fold. Ow, it's going too quick. This, we had the gut shot. We add the gut shot, sorry, to the flush draw. I would like to have not seen that bet going because I'd like to discuss our options here. Now you've seen what I've done, we can still discuss them. Maybe we should put this speed down to like 1x in a minute. We'll do that for the next hand. I think this is kind of we have to double barrel here. We've picked up the gut shot to go with the overs and the flush draw. Although we can't expect to get an absolute ton of folds here. You know, the queen's going to interact with his calling range in the flop not terribly. It shouldn't really hit him too much. Like queen 9, queen 10 are that the only ways he really improves. We block king jack. Jack 8 was already there anyway. So yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say about that with the queen, but I think essentially it's just we've got so much equity. We have a good pot equity. Not sure how much fold equity we have. I mean, what we're going to do here, when we could have gone for a check shove, I suppose. We bet big, cry, call it off. It's hard to misplay this spot really. We ended up going for the bet. An opponent calls, and then the river is an offsuit queen, which from his point of view may counterfeit some of his 2 pairs if he was in there calling with 9-7, 10-9, 10-7. It counterfeits some of that stuff. We've got £18 left, and there's £13 in the pot. It's a bit of a weird spot. I can't remember if this opponent, this is a problem with not being able to use Sky's thingies, Sky's like the videos, live recordings. I can't see what I've got players tagged in. I'm going to need to put names in or something, or a brief player description for the next time I do this, because I don't know if this guy was a fish or not. I can't remember. Trying to think what we're doing here with my value range. If we had any full houses, I'm going to bet all of them. I guess this is going to be one of our few bluffs. If we're going to bet, we have to just bet it all, I guess. Can we just check folding? The thing is, if we check folding here, if we check and he checks back and he shows us a hand like 10 jack or 10-8 or 9-8, 9 jack, there's all kinds of hands that he could have got here with they're just going to fall to this third barrel. I think we just need to pull the trigger here, and if we lose, then we lose. I'm interested to see what I do, because again, I can't remember the hand. I plumbed all these hands in yesterday, and it doesn't help not knowing who the opponents were in terms of remembering the hand, but I'm guessing I just pile it in here, and I think that's easily the best play. I checked, alright, okay, and the opponent checks back, and he showed 6-6. Yeah, it's a mistake from me there to not pile that river, because it would have absolutely got him off there. I mean, fucking hell, I mean, he must have been a fish, no idea what he's doing calling the turn. Yeah, he's got a good shot. He hits the 8, there's like a one line straight to the jack. Yeah, I'm annoyed now seeing this hand again, because I mean, we should just have piled the river. He would have folded. Not sure why I didn't really. I mean, what other bluffs can we have here? I mean, maybe it's better to bluff with some lower flush draws. I don't know, like fucking 7-8 of diamonds, or 5-4 of diamonds, which I just never have under the gun. I don't know. I butchered this one, and we set up the pot to jam the river. I think I should have done it. Disappointed that I didn't. Annoyed to remember the hand now, and remember that we lost to 6-6. I mean, we haven't played it great, but fuck me. Now let's see. Pocket 7s here. We're going to just keep the converter down to speed 1. 30 hand now. We raise to 90 from the cutoff. Clearly a fish on the button calls because of his stack size and the big blind calls. And we flop the overpair. T4 checks. We bet pretty big, as we should. We won't deny equity here to hands like 10 jack. We won't be like getting floated very often here by hands like 8-9, queen jack, 10 jack, and you know, all these ace size. We probably got the best hand. We probably don't get called by worse too often, I wouldn't have thought, but just denying equity here to like the plethora of overcards. Just say this guy's got jack 10, this guy's got ace 9, then you know their combined equities pretty much make us a coin flip. Just getting people to fold that much combined equity is a really good result, so I think we should definitely bet. Right then, so seat 9 goes all in, seat 4 folds. Right, so now what? We've got to call best part of £15 to win 21. So we're getting not a fantastic price, to be honest. We're calling. I mean, I'm not that good at working out exactly what odds we're getting in these situations, because my brain's not fucking working properly. It's 1:15 in the morning when I'm making this, but we're getting pretty shit odds. We're getting like, we have to pay 15 to win a pot of 21. Anyways, whatever the odds are, what are we doing? Sorry for the brain freeze. Just woke up from a power nap, and so I can put a Saturday night shift session in, and there was no games going, or just one game going, so I thought, oh, why not make this video? Probably best to have realised my brain isn't working properly whilst making a video rather than playing a session. But anyways, what do we do here? What does his range look like? I mean, he can obviously have stuff like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, 4x, but he can maybe have some flush draws, just like 2 random overcards. I'm not sure. It looks to me like he wants a fold. The problem is, if he's wanting a fold with pocket 8s or what have you, or he's trying to protect pocket 8s, it costs us a fair chunk of money. But against like these fishy players, they're going to be making way more mistakes in this spot. This is against like a regular again and what have you. He's going to just have a stronger range for doing this, where our equity is significantly reduced. But who knows what these people turn up with? He might just have ace-3 here and think it's the best hand and just jam with it. I think it's a situation where we just have to call against fishy players, probably fold versus regulars, but then again, a regular wouldn't just pile it all in here very often. I think it's a hand we need to call, and if it's just not our day to win, then it's just not our day to win. So we did call. Our opponent showed the 5-3 suited. We get in as a huge favourite, and we held. So go us. Yeah, I think just no big hero folds to fish. When I was learning poker years ago, I was getting helped by a player called Pobbolero from PokerStars, who at the time was one of the most famous players on PokerStars. He was playing like just 200 massive grind. He made Supernova Elite playing mostly 200 one year. He was a beast, an absolute beast. And he had a rule which was no hero falls to fish. Now, this maybe wouldn't be a hero fall with pocket sevens, but it's close enough, and it's something I've stuck with me for the best part of a decade now. No hero falls to fish, no hero falls to fish, and by and large, it's probably made me a ton of money. This is just another example of that. Last hand, 2 aces. Limp under the gun, another limper. So let's see. We want to be making this up at least 120, 140, 160 maybe, even depending on how cally we think these dudes are. We make it 140. Oh, spicy. We get 3-bet. Right, so what are we going to do here? We get 3-bet. Well, I guess it depends what these guys do first, doesn't it? Let's see what they do. I'm going to guess they're going to get out of the way. So we get 3-bet here. We're in position with 2 aces. The pot's going to be enormous. We're going to be having an SPR of, if we just decide to call, which if I remember correctly, that's what I do in this hand. There's nothing wrong at all with just like pumping it again here, but he's made it at 18 blinds. There's not much of a 4-bet size we can use here that like would create the impression that he had fold equity by 5-bet jamming as a bluff or something. So if he is bluffing here, we can't really choose a size to allow him to 5-bet jam and bluff. If we'd made this say 80, he'd made it 240, then we could have gone to like 520, just 26, 27 blinds, and maybe created the illusion that he has some fold equity. But he's made it. We've made it 7 blinds. He's made it 18 blinds. I mean, I guess we could click it back to like 30 blinds or something like that. But I don't know. I think it's either jam here to try and like represent ace king, ace queen, pocket tens, pocket jacks, that type of thing, or just call. And I like to get tricky from time to time. I mean, who knows? I might end up 4-betting here. It might be the most boring hand ever, but I don't think it will be. If he's made the cut into hands I'm feeding in, I'm pretty sure we're going to call, which we do. Flop comes down deuce, deuce, 8. I mean, this hand's just going to play itself from here. If he bets, we're just going to call. If he checks, we're going to bet small. This is going to be the plan here. So if he checks, I think we need to be betting like £2, £2.50 tops. You know, anything between 25 to 33% pot. And hopefully he just goes bet, we call, jam, he call. I mean, that would be the ideal line. That would be the ideal thing to happen. He just bet just £2.40. I don't think there's anything to do other than call here. I mean, our hand's super strong. It's very invulnerable if he's not already ahead of us with like quads or 8s full. He's got like 2 outs or what have you. So there's just no reason to do anything other than call here, and we do. Turn brings a 7 of spades. He bets £4 again, and this is where now we need to think: do we just like go all in here? Because some draws have presented themselves, but we have the ace of spades. So like king queen spades, king jack spades, maybe. I'm not that asked about him having spades. If a spade comes on the river, we're just going to call it off anyway. The cards we don't really want to see coming on the river are like kings, queens, jacks, because they could give him like trips. But either way, I think at this point we're just committed to just call down. So I think again, just calling here and just shutting our eyes and calling all rivers is easily the best play. Just allow him to, if he is doing something fruity, just allows him to continue doing that. If he does have like kings or what have you, then I mean, it's not like he's not going to bet it all off anyway. So we do call. River is a jack of spades, which is not ideal. You know, he could have pocket jack. Seems, I mean, if he has, he has. It's just got to take it cool as like a man. If he's got a flush, it's going to be like now like king queen of spades. He only has like probably maybe 1 or 2 flushes in his range. King queen spades, 10-9 spades. Obviously makes a straight flush. He goes all in. We make the really easy call. And he had king queen, but with just the queen of spades. So I think his play up until the turn is okay. I think his bluff on the river. Excuse me. Given he blocks spade flushes a little bit, he's okay, I guess, but I don't know. I think his turn barrel, I think he should give up on the turn here. That's what I think his play should be. I think our play's completely fine. I don't hate his pre-flop. I don't hate his flop. I think his turn, don't like it much. And then I think the river, I kind of understand it because he's like, oh well, I've got queen of spades, so it's not likely I'm going to have too many flushes in this spot. I'm not sure, but anyway, yeah, it does go to show the value of sometimes having some slow plays up your sleeve. Had we 4-bet pre, he would just have probably folded his hand, and we would have won a much smaller pot. It is nice sometimes. I would rarely slow play kings or queens in this position. Aces I think is fine, and it's just not vulnerable to that overcard popping on the flop and complicating things. So yeah, I think it's nicer sometimes to have a slow play pre-flop, especially when someone's already like bloated the pot massively. So post-flop's going to be really easy most of the time, unless it comes down like king, jack, queen, and he like bets, then it gets awkward. But I mean, how often does that happen? Versus we just get boards that are super clean that we can just call down on. So yeah, it's maybe it's something you guys are doing. It's something I do from time to time, and I hope you got something from it. So yeah, if you have any comments, questions on the video, any feedback you want to give, then please do. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll be back with another one of these in the next few days. Take care everybody, and bye bye for now.